Good morning and welcome to the second lecture on the part of this video lecture, and we're discussing the short story The Kabuliwala by Rabindranath Tagore, presented by Artim University Nagpur for first semester of BCom in the subject compulsory English. So in the previous lecture we discussed about Minnie and Rahman's first meeting. We discussed about Minnie's father who was writing a novel and had completed 16 chapters of that novel. We discussed about Minnie's mother was suspectful or doubtful about Kabuliwala being a good man, etc. Okay. We discussed about the meeting time of Minnie with her good friend, first friend now, the Kabuliwala. I have already told that the month of January go back to his people to meet his people in Afghanistan. It was a routine. It was happening in the life of the Kabuliwala as well as all these major and minor characters. Now, once again, one day what happened? It was the autumn season and the morning time. And when his father, who was an author, writer, was writing his novel, and he was sitting in a chair in his study room or in his cabin, in his house, he suddenly was distracted from his studies or the writing because of the commotion that he heard from a distant, road. When he heard the uproar or the chaos or the noise of the people crying and shouting of the people, he looked through the window outside and he saw that some people were there, 2-3 policemen were there, and he got startled, he got surprised, he got actually shocked to see Kabuliwala was also there. Okay, but he was not in good condition that time because he was being followed by some people, right? Boys. Actually, police had caught him and he was being led to the police station by those 2 policemen. When his father could not understand what actually had happened there, and out of curiosity, or when he saw Rahman was being led to the police station, he sensed something bad might have happened, and because of that, he got down from the stairs and directly reached that place, where Rahman was got arrested, nabbed by policeman, and he inquired about what actually had happened there. And then the policemen or the people who were there surrounding Rahman the Kabuliwala told his father that there was a quarrel between a person, a customer, and Rahman the Kabuliwala, and the Kabuliwala, Rahman, had stabbed that man with a knife, and it was a big crime. It was a kind of assault on the person, on the customer, and that's why he had called the police, and this way he got arrested and was being taken to the prison or the jail. This was quite shocking for Minnie's father, the novelist, who has shown this short story. And he was terrified. He was terrified from within himself, seeing such a pathetic condition of his good friend, the dry fruit seller, the Kabuliwala, Rahman. Now he was to a greater extent well familiar with that person. That's why he had developed a kind of a bond of friendship. That bond of friendship was developed between Kabuliwala and Minnie also, but he also knew him better way. His father also knew the Kabuliwala better, and that's why it was quite shocking for Minnie's father to see Minnie's friend, the Kabuliwala, in this kind of a deplorable condition of the situation. After that, Minnie also came there following her father, and when that man, when Rahman the Kabuliwala saw that Minnie was standing there, she looked at her, he looked at her, and she looked at him. This kind of eye contact took place between them, and now seeing Rahman the Kabuliwala with in handcuffs, she asked, "Are you going to your father-in-law's house?" The meaning of this word in the culture of the Kabuliwala was that going to the jail or going to the prison. And he literally laughed and said, loudly laughed and said, "Yes, yes, I am going to my father-in-law's house." Actually, he was being taken to a police station. It means he was actually, in that sense, he was going to his father-in-law's house. So that actually would have amused the child, is the meaning. But she did not get amused because he was handcuffed. Okay, the police men were there and they had taken him into their custody. They had caught him, and that's why he did not amuse. That answer, his answer did not amuse meaning that point of time. And then he said, "I would have thrashed that old father-in-law, but my hands are bound." Okay, just moving his hands in the air. Okay, what happened later on? On the charge of murderous assault, Rahman was sentenced to several years in imprisonment. So this way he was produced in the court and he was awarded the sentence for many years in jail. Okay. So this way he was put behind the bars, and for next many years he had to stay there. He had to be there, being a prisoner or a jailed person. Right. So time passed, months passed, years passed away, and one day it was again the autumn season, and actually Minnie's parents were preparing for arrangements of their daughter's marriage. Okay, Minnie was going to get married at that time. In between, actually it was Durga Puja, celebration in West Bengal, and they had arranged the marriage of their beloved daughter in that period of time. So it was a morning time. It was the morning time, and his father was quite busy with his work. A lot of work was there for him because at last he was going to get his daughter married to someone else, and it was a great moment actually for his parents, both the parents, okay, mother and father. So he suddenly actually saw a man, a tall man, okay, with a turban and those clothes, etc. But that time that man was not carrying any bags on his back or in his hat. So nowhere there were boxes that he was carrying at that point of time. At first, when Minnie's father looked at that man, okay, he could not recognize the person. But later on, after some time, he recognized the person because he was Rahman the Kabuliwala. That person was Rahman the Kabuliwala. Just they greeted, exchanged good morning, etc. With each other, and his father inquired about his whereabouts and well-being, etc. So he said, the Kabuliwala said, last evening when his father asked him, "When did you come, Rahman?" See, notice the words. "When did you come, Rahman?" I asked me, his father, "Last evening." But Rahman answered, "Last evening," he said, "I was released from jail." What was his answer? "I was released from jail." So this jail word put a kind of lightning for his father. He did not like those words. Actually, it was a good omen. Actually, it was a great moment for Minnie's father and his mother, as there was time of the marriage of Minnie herself. Okay, so all the people of his family were busy with their work related to her marriage, and at that point of time when his father looked at the man who had just come there from jail and mentioned the word, okay, giving him hush on that, last evening I was released from jail, It was a kind of a strike for Minnie's father. He did not like it, and he made excuses to him and said that I'm busy now in some ceremonial work, so please, Rahman, to come other day. Rahman actually that time was carrying, he had wrapped dry goods in a piece of paper and said, okay sir, I will go, but just do me a favor, that just give this to your daughter. Where is your daughter? Okay, he asked about meaning. Okay, he handed over that piece of paper of the wrapper in which there were dry fruits, handed over to his father and started going back, okay, to his own way. In between, he stopped and again turned towards his father. He actually had come there for several years. For so many years he was behind the bars, he was in jail, he was in prison, and he was thinking, even though when he was in prison, he was thinking that Minnie was there, just a 5-year-old girl would be there, and after being released from the jail, he would be meeting her, would be having some time, having some good time, revive their friendship, etc., talking to her, etc. In the same manner that he used to do in the past. But the time had changed a lot. And the situation was also changed. Now Minnie was no more just a 5-year-old girl. She had turned into, a fully grown-up girl, and she was going to get married during Puja Utsav, during Durga Utsav, Durga Puja celebration, etc. in Bengal. It was the time of her marriage, and but he was still in that memory, right? He did not know about all this happening outside the jail. So he insisted on meeting her at least once. Actually, he requested his father that he would like to watch that little girl. When his father now was in confused state of mind whether to allow their beloved child to meet a person who was just released from the jail, was arrested by police, who was behind bar for attacking a man with a knife, and the murderous result. Okay, he was charged in the police station by the police. Whether to allow their beloved girl meet, and on this auspicious occasion, okay, on this domain, it was a big question before him, because when he might have discussed this particular question with his life partner, means his wife, she opposed the idea, the people also opposed the idea, but lastly he decided that okay, he would allow his daughter to meet Rahman the couple. In between, what happened? Rahman just took out a small piece of paper. It was just a dirty piece of paper, and he put that piece of paper on a table. Okay, in the same room where both of them, means his father and Rahman, were standing. So, what is special? What was special in that piece of paper? See, no any photograph was there, no any signature was there, nothing and nothing. Only the ink smeared impression of palm of Rahman's own daughter, who was living in Afghanistan, Kabul, was imprinted on that piece of paper, and that was the only proof, that was the only evidence, that was the only thing which was too much dear to him. It was very close to his heart. He was, for so many years, okay, for so many years he was there in India. He was selling dry fruits to people. He was earning his livelihood. He was making, his bread and butter possible here by selling these things, and used to go to his own land once a year only in the month of January or February. Every year he had just that thing along with him, just impression of her little or small palm. We are not speaking about just a dry fruit seller. We are speaking here about a father. Rahman the Kabuliwala, a father whose family might be mother, father, wife, okay, his beloved daughter, who are living in Afghanistan, Kabul. He was there in India, and a father whose daughter was going to get married during that span of time. Okay, so we here see two fathers talking to one another, talking to each other, and in that atmosphere, Mini's father realized that he was not talking to a dry fruit seller only, he was talking to a father, and after that his heart also started melting, and he called me. He was opposed a lot by the other people in the family, that he was allowing their daughter to meet such a person who was behind the bars, was in prison for the murderous assault on a person, okay, on these big charges. But his humanity, when his father's humanity had not right, understood the love and affection which was there in his heart for his own daughter. On the other hand, love and affection for Rahman's daughter in his heart, in Rahman's. So he allowed. Now Mini came there, Mini appeared. She was wearing that time red color sari, as it is the tradition in most of the parts of this country in India. She was well clad, okay, in red sari, and she appeared there. First of all, she also did not recognize Rahman. After that, she might have recognized him. And just amazingly, Rahman asked the question. He repeated the question which was asked by Mini when she was just 5 years old. And she had asked this question to Rahman. He repeated the same question this time when actually Mini, in real sense, was going to her father-in-law's house. What was that question? The question was, are you going to your father-in-law's house? She blushed, because that time when she was just 5 years old, Rahman had asked her this question. She didn't know the meaning, and that's why she had made a counter question. But this time, when she was a fully grown-up girl and was going to get married and was actually going to her father-in-law's house, she blushed, okay, and she understood the meaning of that. But as so many people were there, she did not say anything. And last time, most probably, she saw her, she looked at, he saw her, he looked at her, and started remembering, started thinking about his own daughter, okay, and started thinking that she also must have grown up and should also have to find a match for her, and it would be his responsibility, being a father, to get her married to a well-to-do man in Afghanistan, because he was just in a distant land. Just think about India and Afghanistan, okay, two poles in terms of geographical areas. So when his father understood the feelings, and he also realized that it was his duty to help this father who was living in a distant land, far away from his own family, from his own daughter, from his own people, and handed over him a bunch of notes, and he was not ready to take that a bunch of notes. He refused it, but he emphasized, his father emphasized and gave it to him and said, Rahman, go to your land, meet your people, see your daughter. She also must have grown up. You have to find a match, a better match for her also. Actually, see, the situation is that when Rahman was there in India, he always saw his own daughter. In whom? In Mini. Okay, and whenever he see Mini, he would remember about his own daughter in Afghanistan, because it was not possible for him to go frequently every month to his own place, to his native place. Okay, and that's why he had developed such a good friendship. He was, from all this description, you understand one thing, that he was basically a very good man. He was a kind-hearted man. There was compassion in his heart. There was a lot of love and affection and friendship in his heart. And he had developed a friendship with little Mini, because he also had his own little Parvati living in Afghanistan. He also had his own daughter living in Afghanistan, and as it was quite impossible for him to go and meet his daughter frequently, he would come to the home, to the house of Minnie, and would meet her and would feel that as if he was talking, as if he was playing, as if he was candidly somewhat having somewhat good time, quality time, spending good time, quality time with his own daughter, and always he saw in Minnie his own daughter. So this is the story, the Kabuliwala. At the end, kind of pathos is there. We have pity, compassion, we have good feelings for the character Rahman, the Kabuliwala. So this is the story of Minnie and Kabuliwala. So we stop here. The story has ended. Thank you.